Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Chelsea 0, Burnley 1. I think we're missing one. Brighton 0. No, did I forget?
You said Burnley versus Chelsea. I was like, what?
Oh my god! Right, you can tell we don't do any preparation for this.
We really
love
don't.
it. We love it.
Right, third time lucky.
Come on, Ollie, I believe in you.
But we now have a new variant. With most of the country already under extreme measures, it's clear that we need to do more together. That means the government is once again instructing you to stay at home.
You're joking. Not another one?
Oh yes! Liverpool 0, Burnley 1. Liverpool 0, Chelsea 1. I think we're missing one, Dave.
We are certainly missing one.
And it's Liverpool 0, Brighton 1.
Way,
Hey!
two goals.
Please welcome to the podcast. 442 meters welcomes Jacob King, everybody.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. How does it feel to be part of the Liverpool 1-0 club?
Trust me. I've never been more happy watching a Brighton game, to be fair. We somehow managed to scrape a 1-0 win against Liverpool at Anfield as well. I was gassed. I was watching the game. I was there we scored, I think it was the 60th minute, and the last 30 minutes was the longest 30 minutes of my life. I was like, knowing us, we'll concede last minute as we usually do, but we just managed to hold on, got the 1-0 win, and I was gassed. I was happy. So happy.
Yeah, we dominated.
Following the Burnley trend.
Do you know what the depressing thing was? Is that Ollie was so proud of the fact that Burnley beat Liverpool. He was like, oh, we've done it. We're the only team that could win at Anfield. And then the next 5 games, everyone beats them.
It's so pointless winning at Anfield if everyone around us is going to win there as well.
Legit. No, the thing is that I saw you won 1-0, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be sick if Brighton managed to do it? I was there like, oh my god, we've actually done it. Who would have thought? Bottle job Brighton winning 1-0 at Anfield.
It was like last season when we were the first team to get a point at Anfield as well, and then everyone started drawing with Liverpool.
You're just a trendsetter, Burnley. Burnley are just trendsetters. Everyone would hop on the hype train.
If only, mate.
Well, people can't say that on this podcast we're favourable to the big clubs. We've got Brighton on. Jacob, I mean, we'll talk about Brighton.
Yeah.
You're becoming a stabilised Premier League club now.
Yes.
I mean, I know Ollie talks about the Championship a lot and how his best memories were in the Championship and how he loves the Championship.
Yeah.
Do you miss an element of the Championship, or obviously you're happy to be in the Premier League, but is there an element of you that misses the Championship?
I mean, we were winning more games in the Championship. The Championship was you could go to a game, you'd be like, okay, we're comfortably going to win this, and then you'll win it, and you'll be like, okay, bless. Because Brighton were always near the top end of the Championship table. So, you always win more games than you lose them. But obviously, being in the Premier League is where you want to be at the end of the day, isn't it? That's where you, get the money, that's where you get the bigger players and, more trophies at the end of the day. But no, I do miss the Championship, to be fair. I do miss it, because I think it's more rough and tumble than the Premier League. You get away with a lot more things in the Championship than you can in the Premier League. Some Premier League tackles, they're not tackles at the end of the day. They're not a foul. Where in the Championship, you could elbow someone and get away with it.
It's true you say that, because honestly, I mean, Harry Kane, Harry Kane could go and kung fu kick someone's grandma in the chest, and the pundits would just be like, oh, it's just genius from Harry Kane, just unbelievable.
Don't get me started on Harry Kane. There was a time against Brighton where, he does that little backup thing where he just backs his bum into someone. It was we're at home at the Amex, and he was the ball was in the air, and it was Lallana going for a header, and obviously Kane, being Kane, backed his bum into Lallana, decking Lallana, but they gave it a foul to Tottenham, and I was like, okay, how is this a foul? The next thing I know, it's gone to VAR, and it's a penalty. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how is this a penalty? And then we ended up losing.
Didn't even take 5 minutes, and we're already on VAR.
Bad trust.
I mean, Jacob, we share a really special memory, because Ollie might not know this, but actually, me and you were both there the day that Brighton went up to the Premier League, weren't we?
Oh, the Wigan game.
We were at the Amex.
I was so happy that day. So happy. Because, like, we've missed out on promotion so many times.
Especially that season we beat you to the league title. Just saying, not.
Had to remind me. But yeah,
I'm looking at my champion scarf now.
Just rub it in a tiny bit more. But yeah, because we've missed out several times. Because I can't remember what season it was. It was when we played Middlesbrough on the last day of the season. Was it Middlesbrough? I think it was Middlesbrough on the last day of the season. And all we need to do was win it.
What season that was?
Yeah, we had to win it. It was win it or draw it even. And we lost, I think. And it just, lost in the playoffs as well. And we just missed out. And also, we bottle jobbed it in the promotion season anyway, because we could have won the title then as well. But bottled it on the last day of the season against Aston Villa.
But winning the title isn't for everyone, is it?
No, I guess not. Thing is that it was so depressing though that season because we had 3 games. All we had to do was win one of them, and we just bottled it against Norwich. I can't remember what the other team was, but it was another team, and then Aston Villa. We just bottled it, and we came second. But oh well, it is what it is. We're in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of the holy grail, wasn't it, for so long for Brighton? Like they'd sneak in the last day of the season into the playoffs, then you'd get close to the title and fall off. What was the exact feeling like? Because obviously, and I'll throw this into Ollie as well, because obviously I've never experienced promotion. But what is it like? What's the feeling like being promoted to the Premier League?
Well, I feel like it's just like a whole like a union thing with the fans kind of thing, because the whole like chant of like we're on our way kind of thing, and then like the we are going up chant as well. Like it just makes the atmosphere 10 times better. That you're like, yes, we know we're going up, we're getting promoted, and it's just a massive achievement from going from like a Championship side to a Premier League side. Like it just unites all the fans together. I feel, and it just makes it special.
Yeah.
I literally couldn't agree. Like, I don't know about you, Jacob. I feel you probably feel the same. But like the first time Burnley got promoted, even in the playoff semi-final, like getting to the playoffs was like unbelievable. It's like something I'd never even thought about. It was like, no, we'll never be in the Premier League. Like 15 years of constant Championship football, it's never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, it might be a bit different because obviously you grew up closer to Brighton than I was to Burnley. But obviously none of my friends, they all support Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham a lot, and then a few West Ham fans. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, people actually know my club. People have actually heard of some of these players. And it's just like something that's like unbelievable, like something that I never dreamt would ever happen has finally happened.
Legit, like you like in the Championship, you obviously don't play like the big sides like United, City, Liverpool and stuff. And like it's such a weird feeling from going from like playing Wigan away or like Burton Albion away to playing Man United at Old Trafford, City at the Etihad, and like Arsenal at the Emirates and stuff like that. It's just completely different. It just doesn't feel like real at first. You're like, oh, this seems probably just a cup game, but no, you're playing in the same league as these giants, and it's just so good. It's just it's unbelievable.
That first season in the Premier League is the best feeling you'll ever have. Doesn't matter how many games you lose, you're just there to have fun. There's no pressure or anything.
Exactly. Like you're one of the favourites to get tipped down anyway because you're recently promoted, so you might as well just relax, kind of, because like there's no pressure realistically. Because you're one of the new boys, so it's just like you might as well enjoy it while you can.
I'll ask you, Jacob, and obviously when you alluded to it a bit when you first said obviously being in the Premier League is great because you attract the biggest players.
Yes.
Since you've been in the Premier League, which player have you signed that you've gone, wow, we're signing this calibre of player?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is. Ooh. Okay, there's a couple to be fair. No, the thing is, to be fair, the people we've signed are usually from lower leagues.
Yeah.
Because obviously we signed Neil Mopé, who's from Brentford. Who else we signed? To be fair, Pascal Gross has been an absolute legend for us since being with us. But
surely Lallana's up there.
Season. Yeah. To be fair, why did I forget about him? How did I forget about Lallana? No, that's just a normal signing for us, you know. That's just. Nah, to be fair, yeah, because when the rumours started of Lallana coming about, I was like, nah, it's one of those like rumours of like it's just out there, it's not going to happen kind of thing. And then as it got closer and closer, it's like, to be fair, it started to look like a realistic signing now. And then it happened. I was like, no way we signed Adam Lallana. And also, you could say same with Danny Welbeck as well.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, he was playing for Arsenal. So like, who would have thought it'd come to Brighton? Like,
imagine where Brighton were 10 years ago and where Danny Welbeck was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Like Danny Welbeck was playing for Arsenal, and we were probably in League One, struggling.
It's probably similar to you, Ollie, when Burnley signed Stephen Defoe.
Do you know what? I'll tell you the one that really was for me was when we signed Aaron Lennon. I know he was getting on a bit then, but we'd signed someone who was constant in the Tottenham and Everton team for so long. And then here we are pushing for 7th place. And we haven't gone and signed some rando from Lithuania. We signed bloody Aaron Lennon.
Yeah.
And we saw him playing that game against Watford, David. He was brilliant, wasn't he? Well, for his age and for someone who hasn't got any pace anymore.
Another player that came to my head was Martin Montoya, the right back.
Oh, yeah.
Who played for Barcelona. I can't remember if he was in the side when they won the... was he in the side when they won the Champions League? I can't remember.
He would have been floated about, wouldn't he? Because he came through the system.
Yeah. So I think he was in the squad. So like signing him from... He wasn't straight from Barcelona. It was from like another Spanish side. I can't remember now. But like, signing him, I was like, no way we signed like an ex-Barcelona player as well. And then also I could say the same with Matty Ryan as well, because he came from Valencia, which was out of the blue as well. I was like, how have we got... Because he wasn't first choice, but still, I was like, how have we got like a player from Valencia to come to Brighton of all teams?
I think for me, and I'm going to throw this in as well, like for Chelsea. I think because I started supporting Chelsea when we were in that trend between the transition of medium club to becoming a big club. Yeah. And the player that we signed that I went, wow, what a signing that is, was Ian Robin at the time. Because he was, he was up and coming, The
bloody depth in answers there. Pascal Gross, Aaron Lennon, and then Ian Robin.
It's just the difference, isn't it? It's just the difference.
But at the time, that was a big signing for Chelsea. He was tipped at the time to be the best. At the time, he was tipped to be one of the best players in the world, and arguably he went on to become that. Not in his Chelsea days, he didn't, unfortunately, but in his time at Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, he became that.
Yeah.
But there are always these players that you fall in love with, and I think as well you have players that it's always a big step coming up. I always see players coming up from the Championship to the Premier League, and some players just can't cut it. They just can't get over that line. They can look, incredible in the Championship, and then they get to the Premier League and they look completely out of their depth. And the player that I throw into this is Lewis Dunk, because he has been absolutely sensational.
Oh my God! I thought you was going to say he's not been good enough.
That's what I was like, David.
No, that's what I mean. It's like players like Lewis Dunk has come up, and it's not looked like it's been a step at all. It looks like he's just playing, like he's playing these Championship teams again. He's been brilliant.
I would also, Lewis Dunk has been amazing. But I'd also put in a case. I know he's not with us anymore because I think he's getting on. But Glenn Murray, when he came up the first season, he bagged us some important goals. I think he wasn't. Yeah, I think he was our top goal scorer the first season. And like I was expecting him to be washed up when he got to the Premier League. I can't lie. And I was like, he's like 32 now. I was like, he's not going to score goals for us. And he bagged a few goals for us that kept us safe that season as well.
Yeah.
But obviously now he's moved on and he's now in Nottingham Forest.
Well, you were signing all these strikers, and Glenn Murray was still getting in the team, wasn't he?
Oh, don't get me started on the strikers we signed. Who did we sign that season? We signed Locadia, absolute flop of a player. No idea where he is now. I think he's in the MLS. That speaks for itself. Who else did we sign that season? I think he was the only one.
I'll tell you someone who you signed that I really don't understand why you ever signed him, was that Andone. Oh my dear life.
Yeah, we were being linked with him, and then you signed him, and then I saw you play for you, and I was like, thank the bloody Lord. Thank God that we're just cheap bastards.
Yeah. To be fair, like to Andone, like he's got the dedication sometimes, but like he can be lazy because the one thing that I remember most about him was the Crystal Palace game where we won 3-1, and we were down to 10 men as well. and because Duffy decided to headbutt Van Aanholt for some reason, so Shane Duffy got sent off. So yeah, Andone was starting, I think, that game, and he made a brilliant run from our half to their goal and scored, because it was from a corner. Bernardo just boots it up the pitch. Andone runs towards it, managed to take it past, I think it's Tompkins that he took it past, and then just slots it home past Hennessy. I went absolutely crazy. I was like, oh my God, we've already got 10 men. What? And we're 3-1 up. No, we're 3-0 up against Palace. What? That's my favourite memory of him. Apart from that, he's been absolutely terrible. Been absolutely shocking for us. No wonder he doesn't play for us anymore.
I remember, Ollie, you weren't a big fan of that Izquierdo, were you?
Oh my God, I've never known someone to find the ground so often.
To be fair, he doesn't play for us anymore. To be fair, he's been sidelined. But to be fair, I think he had an injury for a year or so.
Does it worry you, because you look at those net spends for Brighton, it's not a very pretty sight, is it? Does it worry you for future reference, or do you think that's in the past now, worrying about money like that?
Oh, see, I don't know, because what my worry is, I feel like we've spent so much money on floppy strikers that we've kind of lost a bit of money through it. Because we spent a lot on Locadia, I know that. I can't remember what the specific the money was for that, but I know we spent a lot on him. And then Andone also spent a few mil on as well. But obviously we didn't sell them; we just loaned them out. So technically, we didn't get any money for them. We've just loaned them out. So the only thing we're not paying for is the wages, technically. But the thing is, with us, we just can't buy attacking players. The only ones that I can say that have done well for us is Mopé and then Trossard from the attack.
Oh, Trossard's a great signing.
He's a great player.
Actually, to be fair, I'd put him up with the ones that I wouldn't expect us to sign. If you gave me 5 years ago, because he came from league winning, was it Genk or something from Belgium, and then came to us. So I'd say he's a banging signing. But apart from that, our attacking buys have been terrible. Have been absolutely shocking. So this summer, I think Graham Potter said that he's willing to let some players go so we can get the money we kind of lost thing. Because I know Basuma, I think, is going in the summer.
Was he going to go to Ajax or something in January?
He was rumoured to, and then he's rumoured to Arsenal as well now. I know Arsenal.
Oh, God, please don't sell him there. You cannot sell Basuma to a Premier League club. He's too good.
That's going to be a really kick in the teeth when he goes. I think I'll actually be so sad when he leaves, because I've always loved him ever since he came to the Premier League. I've always loved him, and I will never forget the chant we do with this tequila, but we put Basuma instead. But yeah, that'll be a heartache to go. And I know another one, Ben White, I think's been listed, could go to Liverpool or something.
Yeah, Lamptey.
Lamptey, wouldn't be surprised if he goes.
Keeping hold of Lamptey's crucial.
You're going to get a good bit of money for Lamptey, though. He just signed a new contract, didn't he?
He has, yeah. But the thing is, he's been injured, so that might, because he's out for the rest of the season now, which kind of sucks.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, because he was coming back, and then no idea what happened to our medical team, but he got injured again. So I was there for crying out loud. So yeah, he's out for the season now. And then Matty Ryan will probably be sold permanently next summer or this summer, because he's on loan to Arsenal. Nah, to be fair, ever since he's gone, we've been better.
Yeah, that keeper you got, that young one, he looks pretty good, doesn't he?
He's got a call up for Spain now. He's chairing the
Spanish team. I saw that.
Yeah, to be fair, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. He's 6'6", claims everything in the air.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not little Matty Ryan, he's 5'11".
Imagine Spain versus England next year. Pope versus having the Burnley goalkeeper and the Brighton goalkeeper.
Sanchez. That'd be. Imagine that.
Can you imagine?
Tarkowski and Dunk at the back as well.
Oh no, Dunk's never getting a call up for England. Southgate hates it.
Southgate just hates Brighton and Burnley. It's so obvious.
Legit, he's all right, we're going to go through the centre backs. All right, Maguire and Stones, yeah, they've been pretty decent. Dyer, yeah, go on then, we'll shove him in. Duncan Tarkowski, nah.
Literally, it is so bad. I mean, we'll talk about England in a minute, obviously, but Jacob, you talked about Graham Potter. I know. Me and Ollie. If you've been listening to this podcast, me and Ollie, we're not quite sure on him yet. I think I think we're both a bit like potential to be good manager, but his style of play, I think, is a bit Leedsy. It's a bit naive, and that's my personal opinion. And I think Ollie agrees with me a little bit.
What I find with Potter is that he is very like under the radar and underrated. I think. I don't know if that's me being biased, but
No, I don't. Like, I think he's missing his players. I think that's all. I think he needs to bring his own players in with the Brighton players as well.
Because like the issue he had, he's taken over a Chris Hughton side that played very defensive, and like because it's completely different tactics. Like Chris Hughton was park the bus, snap a 1-0 win, and then see what happens. But whereas Graham Potter's more like, all right, we're going to take it to them this time, no matter what side they are. Like if they're a City, if they're like a Sheffield United, we're just going to take it to them and just see what happens kind of thing. Which I prefer than just sitting back and just giving too much respect to the teams, which Chris Hughton was doing. Because like there were times where I was getting frustrated with Chris Hughton. I was like, why are you bringing on a defender when we're losing 1-0? Like, why are you doing this? But to be fair with Graham Potter, he has changed Brighton quite a bit. Because I think if we kept Chris Hughton, we would have been relegated by now. In our third season, we would have been gone. Because also what I like about Graham Potter, he brings in youngsters as well, with the likes of Alzate. Alzate's been absolutely amazing for us.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure about him when he first came in, but I think recently he's looked really good.
Yeah, he was the one that scored against Liverpool at Anfield. And then another player he's changed is Solly March. Solly March was one of those players that was just there, basically. He was just there, didn't do much under Chris Hughton. But under Graham Potter, he's kind of shifted March from a left mid to a left wing back. And I think that suits him more than being a left mid because it means he can run up and down that left wing freely and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's another player that he's kind of adapted and changed his style of, which I kind of prefer than what Solly March was under Chris Hughton.
I'm the curse of Solly March because every time I watch him, I go, "Why this kid is rubbish?" And then he'll do like what he did against, I can't remember who it was, but he'll score that banger. Like he scored that banger in the top corner. And I'm like, every game I say he's shit, he always comes up with a goal or a really good assist. And I'm like, why do you always save it for when I'm actually watching it?
Yeah, but the thing is that he's injured now, so he's out of the rest of the season. To be fair, we've got a fair share of injuries now, which sucks.
But they don't talk about Brighton having an injury crisis, do they?
No, but they're not Liverpool, David. Come on.
I was going to say, like, can you imagine if we started doing that? Then Liverpool, some Liverpool fans trigger me, but that's for another
day. Imagine if Graham Potter just started crying in his press conference like Klopp did.
I remember when we beat Liverpool and Klopp's press conference was the funniest thing going.
He's so bitter, isn't he? He can't take it.
It was the 1-1 draw we had with them at home, and like it was the time he had an argument with the interviewer, and it was the funniest thing. You could tell he was just salty as. And I was like, you just drew 1-1 to Brighton away.
I love when Klopp when Liverpool lose to a penalty and he goes, well, you obviously think it's a penalty. I mean, if you think it's a penalty, it must be a penalty.
To be fair, that penalty we had against them at the Amex was shouldn't have been a penalty, to be fair. Because like basically it was like the ball was dropping from the sky. Welbeck went to kick it, missed the ball, but then Robertson kicked Welbeck's shoe.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then Welbeck fell to the floor. I was like, that's not a penalty, no way. And then the ball goes out of play. Next thing you know, VAR, and then penalty. I was like, oh my god, we've somehow got this somehow. I don't get how we've done it, but we've done it.
You can't complain. Liverpool get enough penalties.
Exactly. But yeah, back to like Graham Potter. I feel like he has changed us to be a side you're worried about now than a side we can easily get past Brighton kind of thing. Like, small Brighton, easy. But Graham Potter's made us that side that anyone would be worried to play against us kind of thing. Yeah. The only thing that's letting us down is the scoring. That's the only issue.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Does it worry you that you go into these games where you absolutely dominate and then you just can't score a goal? I've seen games where you've just had these such easy chances, like what you've created all these great chances.
Yeah,
and then you just can't put the ball in the back of the net.
But yeah, things are like you can't really blame Potter for that because he can't get on the pitch and score them for them. Yeah. It's the players that can't do it. And like a good example of this was the Palace game at home.
Oh,
We had like 20
I wasn't going to
shots.
bring it up, mate.
We had like 25 shots compared to their 2 shots that were their only 2 touches in the box, in our box, and they scored. And it was bloody Christian Benteke to score the winner of all people.
I know.
Benteke doesn't do anything. But yeah, that game, I was fuming.
I don't know if you did, but obviously watching it as a neutral, I could only see Palace winning that because you just kept having chance after chance, and everyone was joking on Twitter saying, "Oh, Palace are going to go and score now," and it was so late on.
To be fair, that's just classic us. And a game that fully summed up our this whole not scoring thing was the United game. Like at the start of the season, was when Trossard hit the post like 5 times and set a record for the amount of posts and crossbars hit in a game. So I think that whole game summed up how our season was going to go. It was just going to be chances missed after missed after miss, and obviously they got a penalty after full time, which makes no sense. But
that was a ridiculous decision.
But obviously VAR this season has been absolutely woeful. Like no idea what's been going on there.
Yeah.
But I think
following on to Ollie's point, who that you think could come in and do a job for Brighton next year?
Thing is, that's a hard one because I think anyone that comes here could fluff us. Could just not do anything. Because Neil Maupay we thought was the answer, but obviously.
Do you know what I think? Do you know what annoys me about Maupay? And I don't know if you agree, but is the fact he'll get himself into a really good position and then look around to see if someone can foul him.
Yeah, and also with Maupay, he always is so hesitant. Like
I think that whole thing with Guendouzi, I think that really he thought he was like this big wind-up merchant, but realistically he isn't. And I think he's just playing on it too much.
Nah, trust me. In the United game, he scored a penalty and did the celebration of his fingers in it. No, it was the crying emoji. He did the crying celebration, and then we went and lost, and that was just posted everywhere. It was just everyone, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I was there like, Maupay, what have you done? I was like, what have you done? You scored a penalty, and now we've lost.
Can I just say something similar? When we played Palace on our first season after we won the title and championship, so our third promotion. Yeah. We played. Luckily, we won this game, but Ashley Barnes put us 1-0 up really early on, and we hadn't won away all season. And then Ashley Barnes went up the other end straight after, scored again. He was miles offside. I don't know how he didn't realise, and he went right over to the Homesdale end, in front of all those fanatics, and did the rowing the boat celebration. And the referee had blown, and literally the linesman was standing with an offside flag right next to him.
Oh no!
That's the most Ashley Barnes thing of all time.
No, but to answer your question, David, there's one player that I would love to have at our club at the moment, but the only way this would happen is they don't get promoted, and that's Ivory Toney.
Yeah.
If Brentford were not to get promoted, I'd be like to Graham Potter, get him signed up. Because what is he on? 30 goals this season, maybe
32 goals this season.
Mad.
I said a point on. I did a podcast the other night, and we were talking about the England squad. Yeah. And I said, what's the harm in throwing Ivan Toney into the England squad at the moment?
Yeah.
And people sat there and went, oh, it's the championship. But it's hard to score goals in the championship. It's not an easy league to get 30 goals already.
I was going to say, it's not even finished yet.
You tell Andre Gray that. He found it quite easy, and he's rubbish.
Where even is Andre Gray now?
He's
rotting at Watford. 18 million they paid us for him. God. Dream money.
But no, I agree. I agree with you, Jacob. I think the only way you could probably get him is if they didn't go up Brentford, which could happen. They flopped a bit this season.
They have.
It's almost a given now. Brentford won't go up. I feel it every season.
I actually think it's the last season I thought they were going to do it. I generally thought they were going to do it, and then their keeper was just, I don't know what their keeper was doing for their first goal, but But yeah, he would be one of my main targets to get if Brentford weren't promoted. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else I'd take. Because to be fair, Danny Welbeck was meant to be our signing to be we're going to score loads of goals now. But no, he's only got 3 goals this season.
That's not bad for him, because when he first started for you, he looked really promising. Looked like he was going to be a really good signing.
To be fair though, he scored a banging goal against Newcastle the other day. From outside.
That was at the beginning of the season when he started playing for you. That was the best I'd seen him play for ages.
I was like, where's this Danny Welbeck come from? This is a new person. I was like, he's just like being reborn or something. But yeah, to be fair, he's picked up a bit of form now recently. But yeah, we were hoping it'd be like a Neil Maupay Welbeck partnership up front. But obviously it's been changed and mismatched and stuff like that over again. Because like it's been Maupay Connolly, Maupay Trossard, Maupay Welbeck. There's been games where it's been Maupay Jahanbakhsh. He's another flop. We paid 16 mil for him as well.
Oh dear, this is what I mean. Ollie talking about the net spend. It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, fifth in the last 5 years in the Premier League. I was shocked. I was so shocked when I saw that.
Legit, mate. All he's done is scored a bicycle kick against Chelsea, and that's it.
Oh dear, it wasn't even a proper bicycle kick. He hit it into the ground, and it was against Kepa, so it doesn't count. But yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a weird season for Brighton because I think he picked up the last few games and got a couple of good results.
Yeah.
Because a couple of weeks ago, I remember me and Ollie talking on a podcast going, "Do you know the one team we're worrying about here is Brighton? Brighton could literally get pulled back into it," and that was. And I said it was an element of Graham Potter football. And I said, to be honest, just to get through the season, he needs to not play so naively at times and just almost do a Chris Hughton and get over the line. And we've seen that with Leeds, that Leeds could be in a much better position if they just weren't naive all the time.
Excuse me, Dave, you're talking about the best team in the world with the best manager in the world.
But
Leeds King.
Wait, Jacob, I actually have a question for you. So obviously you supported a team that's been in the Football League more than it's been in the Premier League in your lifetime.
Yes.
I've tried to tell David so many times that if you support a team that's been in the Championship for a long time, you're just programmed to hate Leeds.
Yeah, no, it just happens at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And now that everyone keeps bragging about Leeds, being like, "Oh my god, Bielsa ball," stuff like that, like, "Oh, shut up."
It makes my heart melt every time I see Leeds in the Premier League, and it's just one of these things that never meant to happen in the last 15 years. And everyone has worked so hard in the Championship not to get Leeds promoted, and then the bloody useless teams last season didn't do it.
No, because like I loved all the jokes being like, "Oh, what's it? I want to watch the playoffs, but there's no Leeds to watch it." And I was like, "Oh, what a legend of a joke that was!" But now you can't do that joke now because in the Premier League, so it's like,
oh. I suppose you have to go with Derby now as the team we all don't like.
Do you think you're safe though, Jacob, or are you still a bit worried?
After Newcastle, yes, I think we are, because obviously Newcastle are now below us.
Newcastle doing all of us a favour at the moment.
I generally think Newcastle are getting relegated on purpose. I actually generally think they will, because
apparently they tried to have a meeting without Steve Bruce with the CEO, all the players.
What?
I know.
No, because Newcastle were doing all right at the start of the season, and like they went from like near middle table and they just dropped. They just kept dropping. I was like, what? Because like the relegation mix was like obviously Sheffield United, Fulham, West Brom, and then us, Burnley were in it for a bit.
We were in it. We were in it up until recent. Well, I still think we're in it, but we were so in it until recently.
Yeah. And then you could also... Who else? I'm trying to think who else was down. The Crystal Palace was down there for a bit as well.
I was worried about Palace. They were so far against us.
I was going to put Palace.
I don't think you were worried, Jacob.
I can't wait for the day that Palace get relegated and we stay up. I will laugh my head off. It'll be the best day of my life.
They're in really big trouble, Palace. But I think, apart from Sheffield United, they're probably the worst team in the league at the moment. They play awful.
Their team, thing is, it's not even that. Their team is aging as well. Like they've got to be one of the oldest sides in the Premier League, surely.
They are the oldest.
Yeah, because like you've got Gary Cahill still playing. God knows how he's still playing. You've got Tompkins, who's like 30 as well. Got
McCarthy and McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah. Zaha will probably go soon.
Do you think anyone would even want him anymore?
To be fair, has he even scored that much this season?
No, I think he missed the time to get that move, didn't he, Zaha?
It was like a couple seasons ago. He could have easily went to Arsenal or Tottenham and just didn't.
Well, Palace wanted like 80 million for him.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't pay
80
million in his prime. No,
but yeah, because like, what was I going to say? Yeah, with Zaha, yeah, he's missed his opportunity to go. Like realistically. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him go because it would be funny for Palace to suffer more. But it is what it is. They're staying. But yeah, their side's aging, and I think our side's one of the youngest sides, to be fair.
Yeah, you've got a really young
definitely.
team. You've got a really young team.
Because you've got Ben White, you've got Tariq Lamptey, you've got our new goalkeeper now. Who else?
Connolly's pretty young still.
Connolly, yeah. But to be fair, there's been a bit upset with him recently.
I'll tell you one player I really, really think if he just put a bit more effort in and really just started to play a bit more, I think he could be a wicked player. Is that Alexis McAllister? He just doesn't put it in enough, does he?
There has been games.
Come on.
Yeah, there has been games where he's been an absolute unit of a player, and he's been bossing that midfield, being that number 10 that we need, kind of thing. But then there's been games where he's just been lazy. He's just been strolling about, passes the ball sideways sometimes. But I think he's one of our hottest prospects, I'd say.
Yeah, he's a quality. I think he could be quality.
Also, the funny thing is he looks like Messi as well. he's like the ginger Messi. It's quite funny. But yeah, I think he's one of our hottest prospects at the moment if we can keep him or loan him out or something. I don't know. But I think he's one to keep an eye on in the future.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Jacob, and I'll pass this to Ollie as well.
Yeah.
Who is not your best player, but who do you think, if you were to sell this player, who do you think is your most valuable player in your squad? Jacob, and then Ollie go after.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say 2 for this. Basuma, because he's controls our midfield. Like he's the one that sits back and just like helps our defenders out. Like there's times where he drops back into that back 5. If like Dunk or White or Webster's out that midfield, like out of the defense, he kind of drops back and sits there. And he also is really good at carrying the ball. The only thing that annoys me with him, he just takes ridiculous long shots, and some of them just go fly.
For whatever reason, they always go in against us.
I not to sound like horrible, I was so happy when that goal went in.
It pissed me off so much. I was like, because obviously Nick Pope was going for the Golden Gloves, and but it got news that Norwich had scored against City. I was like, great, I can sit back and relax. Then that goal got disallowed, and as soon as it got disallowed, bloody Basuma scored. And I was like, well, this is shit. And I think I walked out for like 10 minutes.
It was an absolute rocket as well. It just went flying, hit the bar, and went in. I was like, yeah. And then my second player would be Lewis Dunk, because obviously he's Mr. Brighton and he controls that defence. Like he's in the middle, he controls Webster and White and keeps it organised and stuff like that. So I think if he was to go, then we'd need another leader in that defence. But I mean, you could put like a case for Webster being a leader, but I wouldn't say he's on Dunk's
I think he's
level.
been a great signing.
He has been. Came from Bristol City as well, from a Championship side. So
I was my eyebrows were raised when you signed him because it was a lot of money. But I think he's paid that money back already.
Was it 12 mil we spent on him? 12 mil rings a bell.
It was a lot more. I thought it was like 18, 19 million.
It could have been. I could be wrong. But like, when he came, I was like, that's a lot of money for a Championship centre-back. And then he has proven it. He has proven he's worth every penny. But again, he's another player that's injured and he's out for the rest of the season.
I think as well, Lamptey, being young and English, he's going to cost a lot to get him off your books. Also, especially now he signed that deal.
I'd also like to put an honourable mention to Veltman because
obviously what a signing! What a signing that was.
Legit, Lamptey was injured. I was like, God, who are we going to play at right wing back? We haven't got anyone there. We don't have Montoya anymore. Bruno's retired, so Bruno's not there. And I was like, and then Veltman got put there. I was like, he's a centre back. Why is he playing at right wing back? And to be fair to him, he's been an absolute beast of a player.
You signed him for only 350,000, didn't you?
Yeah, it was his release clause from Ajax.
Ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is he's one of your best players, I think. Or has been this season.
I'd put him up for one of our player of the seasons, to be fair. Because
who's your most valuable player, Ollie?
Well, I think obviously I was going to say Nick Pope, but then I had to think about it because obviously I think it just takes to find another good goalkeeper and they'll do the job. But I think for me it has to be Ben Mee. Same reason as Lewis Dunk. He's been with us 10 years now. Well, almost 10 years. And do you know what? When he's out injured and Kevin Long comes in with Tarkowski, I don't think that motivation's there. But when it's Ben Mee and Kevin Long, I still reckon we're going to keep a clean sheet. And I just think, if I ever think of someone who's cared about the club so much, like does so much charity work, and then puts that all onto the pitch, it's easily Ben Mee. And I think you probably think the same as Lewis Dunk.
Yeah. There's been times with Lewis Dunk where he's been rumoured to go to even Chelsea. And obviously, David, you've been teasing me all the time, being like, Lewis Dunk's coming Chelsea. He's a Chelsea boy. He's coming Chelsea.
He's a Chelsea fan.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm always worried that he's going to go Chelsea. And then, but I think he's going to be a one-man club. I generally think he will stay there for.
But it's like the same with Ben Mee when his contract was running out, and he was rumoured to go to Everton, and then he just put a picture on his Instagram after like 3 weeks thing. He said, like holding his new contract, saying, "Well, I've just been on holiday, guys. Come on."
Now, when Dunk signed that new contract, I think I said it to you, Dave. I was like, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, you did. You sent it to
He's
me.
our boy.
Yeah, you sent me a post and I was like, oh god, here we go.
Like, there's been times where he's got like red cards, and like when he's been out that team, it just doesn't seem the same.
No.
Like, because like, especially last season when it was 4 at the back and it was Webster and Duffy was playing for us, and it just looked like a shambles. It was just an utter shambles at the back. No idea what happened to Duffy, bless him. Like, he was a boss in the Championship, was a boss in the first season, and then just flopped and just went downhill
Do you know why I love Shane Duffy so much?
Why?
The amount of own goals he scored for Blackburn. Didn't he score like almost a hat-trick of own goals in like 4 games before signing for Brighton?
Well, then, to be fair, you can say that with Dunk. The first season, Dunk scored so many own goals. It was unbelievable. Like, it was like, there's like 5 own goals I think he scored first season.
I think he was close to the record, wasn't he? Only Richard Dunn tops him.
Like, because obviously Dunk's your old school centre backs. Like, he'll just dive into anything and just like block anything. But half the time his blocks would just go flying into the back of our net. I'll just be there like, oh, Dunk, why? Why did you just leave it? Why? The goalkeeper had it, Dunk. Why? But yeah, Dunk has been one of our like most important players for years. Like, he's always the first man on the team sheet, always.
Mm. Yeah.
So Jacob, who's the saddest? So over your whole lifetime supporting Brighton, what was the one transfer away from the team that made you saddest?
See, this is gonna sound really weird. David Stockdale from.
I didn't expect that.
Because he was our goalkeeper for when we got promoted, and
of course.
I thought, because he was decent that season until he scored 2 own goals against Norwich, in the same game somehow. I don't get how he managed it, because it hit the bar and then bounced off him and went in twice. But like, he got us, like, was one of the reasons we got promoted, because it was a Sheffield Wednesday game where Murray gave away a deliberate penalty, got sent off, and I can't remember who it was now. It was either Forestieri or someone else, and stepped up, took the penalty. Stockdale saved it, then rebounded off Forestieri again, and then Stockdale gets up, saves it again. And I was there like, oh my god, he saved it twice. But then when he went, I was like, that's such a weird signing to get rid of. And then obviously it now makes sense, because no idea where he is now. He flopped at Birmingham, and he's somewhere else now. No idea where he is. So I'd say he's up there for like one of the signings I was like most surprised that left and kind of was annoyed he left. And then also Knockaert. Knockaert was another one, because he was one of our best like wingers at the time, and him leaving he went on loan to Fulham. I was a bit like surprised, because I was like, because that was one of Graham Potter was doing. I was like, why is he sent Knockaert off at loan? He's one of our best like right mids, and then he permanently left for Fulham. I was like, oh, that's a bit sad, because he's like one of our best. He was one of our best players and got us promoted as well. Like, he was up there, one of our best players. And now he's at Nottingham Forest with Glenn Murray and Chris Hughton, getting the boys back together.
We're getting the band back together.
Oh, and Gaetan Bong, he's at Nottingham Forest as well.
Oh dear, we're getting the band back together.
Yeah, pretty much. It pretty much is. Next thing you know, you'll have like Shane Duffy appearing at Nottingham Forest.
It's like Jonathan Woodgate. He's just everywhere he goes. He just worms his.
Just manages to get there.
He's like the Jonathan Woodgate.
I promise you, it's the ex-Middlesbrough manager thing. Jonathan Woodgate will be England manager. First we had McLaren, then Southgate, now it's Woodgate. Oh my god, Gates.
It's the
Gates. Going to be the Gate Boys. Oh no, don't say Gate Boys.
Oh my god, theory unlocked.
It's the Gates. It's everything to do with the Gates.
Gareth Gates.
Gareth Gates.
We'll finally get rid of
Funny
Jonathan
to see
Woodgate, and
Gareth
then
Gates.
Gareth Gates will come in. Oh dear God!
Anyone
I'm
can
now
do a better
excited for the
job.
2034 World Cup under Gareth Gates.
That's the title for this podcast.
To be fair, anyone could do better than Southgate at this point. Anyone could do.
Well, let's talk about this
Wait,
now.
no, can we talk about one thing? So we record this on the Thursday, and I just spent 90 minutes of my life watching the under-21s, and it was horrible. It was absolutely disgusting. How AD Boothroyd has a job, I don't know. How we didn't work out 15 years ago he was a shit manager for Watford, and then he went to Northampton and did nothing. But it's all right, give him the under-21s job. He's great with youngsters.
Is he?
No.
I think that was a bit sarcasm. I think that was. Of course he's not.
We have all these star youngsters, and they're all just standing looking at each other, and they're like, so Hudson-Odoi or McNeil would be on the ball, and I think everyone would just watch the ball with their eyes. And then there's Switzerland that had that Brighton striker. I can't think what his name is, the young Swiss player.
His name's so hard to pronounce. I can't remember what it is. But
I'm not even going to try. And they're that Yankovic, and they were. I'm not being funny. Switzerland weren't that good, but they were just tearing us apart. I don't think Ben Godfrey had ever seen a ball in his life.
Yeah, but this is
I
what I
like
mean.
Ben Godfrey.
To be fair, he's a decent player.
Terrible managers. The FA just don't care.
No.
I mean, and we've got a tough game tonight, boys. I mean, I don't know how we're going to get through it, honestly. Oh,
Well, you
God.
say that, but bloody the England under-21s drew with Andorra a couple of months ago.
No, do you want to hear the funniest thing I saw? I saw someone put a tweet out, and it was San Marino's latest score.
Yes.
And it was lost, draw, typical San Marino hitting form just as they
It wouldn't surprise me if they managed to scrape a 1-0 against us.
They celebrated like they won the World Cup when they drew 0-0.
No, thing is, we're England. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. And that proves it in the Iceland game in the Euros.
I mean, with the disgraceful squad that we've got at the moment, it's Gareth Southgate. Oh my!
I saw the squad. I just immediately turned off my phone. I was there like, "What are you doing, you muppet?"
The only thing he hasn't done is not pick Harry Winks. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but we got Tyrone Mings now, so it's all similar names as well.
What do you make of the England team at the moment, Jacob?
Is Pickford injured?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That defeats my point then. That defeats my point.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, because I read it. I was like, Pickford. He's not even on there. And then now you said he's injured. It kind of defeats.
Do you know what? We injured Goodmanson injured Pickford, so you can all thank us that we're going to win.
Yes, go on. Oh, mate. To be fair, I looked at the squad. Some of the picks, I'm like, okay, we're all right. And then some of them were absolutely ridiculous. Like, what are we playing? Like, we're going to play 7 at the back. Is that what his plan is? Like,
well, with no Rashford, looks like we're going to play 8 at the back against San Marino.
He's going to park the bus. He will. He will fully park the bus.
But we're parking the bus against a team that probably can't afford a bus.
Oh my God, that's
if he plays 5 at the back tonight against San Marino, there is just no.
He will.
I mean,
that's all he knows.
This is the annoying thing, is because you have people going out there going, "Well, it's his system. He's implementing it." But this is where you become a tactically good manager. You change things up. When you're playing against the better teams, then you have your 5 at the back. When you're playing against teams,
he's never heard of any of those words. He's never heard the word tactics, good, or manager.
Yeah. All he knows is 5 at the back. That's all he knows. He knows 5 at the back and park the bus.
Yeah.
That's all he knows.
Gareth, what are your tactics? Oh, I love those sweets.
Oh, God. David, I'm going to make a compilation of your worst jokes on this podcast.
But it is. I mean, just like, if we play 5 at the back, I'm literally going to turn my TV off.
He will, though. That's the thing. He will. And he'll shove Eric Dyer in there. He'll shove Eric Dyer in that side.
Do you know what annoys me most about the call? So let's just forget Eric Dyer doesn't exist. I know that's really hard. But he picked Tyrone Mings. So I have a problem with that. One, because he's rubbish.
Yeah,
but he's not even... Arguably, Tarkowski and Dunk should be miles ahead of him. But even Konsa is having a brilliant season. And
I was going to say, he picked the worst centre-back pairing from Aston Villa. Like, how would you manage that?
Michael Keane. Why is Michael Keane not in there? Michael Keane's had a brilliant season.
Exactly. He's been boss at Everton. He's a new player. And yet again, Gareth Southgate's like, nah, we'll have Eric Dyer in there. It's all good, guys. It's all good.
Oh, dear. It's just...
Because, like, let's be honest here. Like, if you look at the form of, like, Eric Dyer and look at the form of, like, Keane, Dunk, and, like, Tarkowski and stuff like that, like come on. Does Eric Dyer even play?
He dropped Alexander-Arnold for form and then picks Eric Dyer.
Does Eric Dyer even play for Tottenham? Like, does he even still, like,
well,
get started?
I think play is a kind word, Jacob.
I genuinely feel like we're going back in time, though, because
we are.
We're going back to the 2018 World Cup where it didn't work. We're going to have John Stones, Trippier. We're going to have the same back five because you'll bring back Ashley Young just for the banter. You're like, Ashley, you're doing well at Inter Milan. In you come, son. Jesse Lingard's back. Jesse Lingard's going to be in there.
I'm happy to see Lingard in the England team.
To be fair, he's been bossing at West Ham recently, so I'll give Lingard the pass. But it wouldn't surprise if he brings Joe Hart to the Euros.
Oh my God, I'm going to have PTSD. No, don't do that to me.
He'll be like, Joe Hart, you've warmed that bench so well. Come on, come to the plane. You're on your way to the Euros, mate.
Do you know what? Actually, I'd love to see Joe Hart back, just so when we lose, his media team can post "Job well done, lads," like he did.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Especially we lose to San Marino tonight, and he puts "Job well done, lads."
No, the thing is though, what I'm worried about, like everyone's gassing up, like, oh, we have a chance to win the Euros and stuff like that. But like, who's in our group stage? We've got Croatia. Is Scotland in our group?
Yeah, Scotland and Czech Republic.
See, I can see us bottling against all three of those teams.
Matty Vidra hat trick.
Thing is, and also like with Czech Republic, they've got some decent players. They've got Sojcek. You've got who else?
Kufal.
Yeah.
Vidra, the best of them all.
Yeah, can't go wrong with him. Oh, actually no, Ollie, do you know what cracked me up a couple of weeks ago? It was Burnley. I can't remember who Burnley played now, but like their starting lineup kept appearing, and it was all English players apart from Vidra. I was just there like it's just straight English players, and then you got little Vidra up front.
It's like we bought Tarkowski just to make him sound like we've got some foreign players. Even Goodmanson, he looks as English as the rest of our players.
Yeah, true. To be fair. But now, to be fair, like I am kind of worried this Euros that we might have a repeat of 2016 Euros.
If we pick the right players,
Oh no, I'm not even being funny. Our second string team under a good manager could still get to the like knockout stages.
Yeah.
It was like I was thinking earlier, like why didn't we let Foden and Sancho go and play for these under-21s thing? We should be able to beat. Okay, yeah, obviously we should be able to beat San Marino and Albania, but we should be able to beat Poland with Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, some of the best players in the world. I don't think like Foden's great. I'd love to have him in the England team, but I'd rather we won the under-21s thing and beat Poland. And
yeah,
I mean, I'm not even going to say beat San Marino. I don't, David. I will never host this podcast again if we don't win tonight.
No, thing is, we're England. We're just bottle jobs. We are. We're just. That's why I'm worried about the Euros. Like Croatia, they did us in the World Cup semi-final. That was one of my saddest days of my life. And they almost did it to us in the Nations League as well. We only managed to scrape a win against them, and they'll probably destroy us in the Euros group stage. Scotland, that just speaks for itself. They're
going to be up for that. They are going to be up for that.
Legit, and they hate us. They hate us. They'll do anything. You have Griffiths score 2 free kicks again. That's another thing. We scraped a 2-2 draw against them last minute, and who scored that? I think it was Daniel Sturridge.
Literally, I just feel with England at the moment. It's that argument that we've had for years and years and years, and every manager we have, it seems like he's the only one that picks the squad. That everyone else, you talk to every football fan in the world, you go, would you have him? Yeah, he's in the squad. Yeah, he's in the squad. He's in the squad. But whoever's sitting in that England dugout goes, no. You millions of people, you're completely wrong. You're so wrong. I'm sorry. Lewis Dunk is not the next. We're going to have Eric Diarino, and he can come into the team and do the bits for me. No, you're all wrong. But it was the same. Capello, he picked Heskey for years and years and years, and no one wanted Heskey in there. Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, that speaks for itself, that one.
We should have seen the signs when Gareth Southgate first came in. He picked Glenn Johnson in his first England squad.
We should have seen the signs when he promised that he wasn't going to pick players on the structure of their club.
Yeah.
But here we are. And I was like, it's too good to be true, Gareth. No one's been like that. And you're not going to start it.
Because, like, as you said, David, the whole Trent thing, yeah, we're not picking him because his form's terrible. But Eric Dyer, damn, your form, man's been immense. You can come to the friendlies. Because, like, realistically, is Dyer going to be taken to Euros? I bloody hope not. But he's not going to play, though.
I can almost guarantee you any money in the world, Jacob, that Eric Dyer will be on that plane.
But, like, why not give minutes to the likes of Dunk, Concert and stuff like that? Like, give minutes to them to prove that they're better than Dyer.
What makes Southgate so annoying, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, Ollie, as well, and Jacob, is that he'll, like, do something where he'll pick Watkins and Sam Johnson. You go, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good pick, Southgate. Well done. And then he'll, like, just annoy you with the rest of the squad. And you just sit there going, oh, why can't you just do it for the whole squad? Not just
Yeah. But
I think Watkins is a great shout in there. I think he's had a really good season.
Did you see
But he's
Bamford's
playing
interview?
for one of the fashionable teams, isn't he? Like, Villa are the love team at the moment. So, and I put them in. It's like Connor Cody at Wolves. Wolves aren't really... Like, Wolves are one of those love teams. Oh, I'll put Connor Cody in. But I'm not going to put Lamptey... Oh, no, Lamptey's injured at the moment. But do you know what I mean? Someone we're all trying to get... I'll put Grealish in, definitely. We love Villa. We love Grealish.
Yeah,
oh, we love Maddison.
It's always been with England, though. Like, they've always favoured the bigger sides and, like, the most talked about sides and stuff like that.
We went through a stage under Southgate must have been 2017-18, where we were trying all these players. Like, didn't matter how old you were, didn't matter what team you played for. If you were in form, like seeing Jack Cork play against Germany, it was like a dream come true for me. Imagine when he was on loan from Chelsea at us in 2009. I'd say 10 years later, he'd be playing for England. Do you know what I mean? Why don't we do this? Like,
the thing is, though, like,
go on.
Like with like, I'm just gonna use Dunk as an example because I know him better because I'm a Brighton supporter. But like, he could easily fit in like any side, maybe not like City and stuff like that or Liverpool, but like he could fit into like a Chelsea side. He could fit into like an Arsenal side. He could fit into a United side even. But because he plays for little old Brighton, Southgate doesn't care. He's there like, nah, they're in a relegation.
That's the thing.
Scrap.
Imagine if we had like Tarkowski and Dunk at the back, and Southgate told them, just clear it, just get rid of it. We would never let in a goal. I don't think we would ever let in a goal.
Because like those two centre backs are like, as I call them, old school centre backs. They just hoof it. They're like, no, danger, get rid of it, get rid of it. Like none of this passing around the back kind of stuff. Just hoof it and get rid of it. Because like,
there's a reason like Burnley and Brighton are known for having good defensive records. It's because they play good defensive styles. Like, they've got good defensive styles. Look at bloody Tottenham, Man United, all these teams. They can't keep a clean sheet for their bloody lives.
No. It frustrates me so much, he does, with his selections. I'm surprised.
But John Stones has a good 10 minutes and he's back in the team. And we love John Stones again. He's the best player in the world.
The thing is, though, how many goals has John Stones scored this season? Like,
is he on 3 or 4 now in the league anyway?
Dunk scored like 5. Like, come on. Like, oh.
Would have been 6
even
as well if
the
they
shit out of Robbie Brady.
Would have been 6 as well if you'd counted that goal against West Brom.
Oh no, David, don't.
I didn't even
David,
like Brighton.
don't.
That pissed me off.
They are. I've hated VAR this whole season. Like,
I'm sorry. Do you know what? See, when West Brom are so shit, they've been so lucky. So one week they proper handball in the box, didn't give us a penalty. The next week, that Brighton goal got disallowed against them from VAR.
Thing is, what frustrates me the most, like this, I've rated Dunk for saying this. Why can't referees be accountable of their mistakes? Why can't referees come out to like the press and say, why did you do that decision? Why did you decide to cancel that goal? Instead of being hid away from everyone and stuff like that. Because that's what infuriates me. Because there was a game, I can't remember what game it was now, but there was the same incident, but the goal counted. But ours obviously didn't count. So it's just, it frustrates.
There's just no consistency. And I think you're right. And the thing that annoys me most about that Dunk thing, like, it's so easy for a player to just come out and say these things and not have any. But you see in the video, who was it? Who was the referee? Was it Mason?
It was Mason. Yeah.
Oh, of course. I shouldn't have even had to question it. But you see Lewis Dunk ask him if he can take it.
Yeah.
And Lee Mason literally says yes and blows his whistle, and that's what frustrates me. And you scored a similar goal against Liverpool, didn't you?
Yeah, the exact same goal, basically. Yeah.
Oh,
and what annoys me the most,
that was really pissed me off, that one.
Yeah, and what annoys me the most, free kicks are meant to be like help the attacking side out. They're meant to be an advantage for the attacking side, not the defending side. So like you shouldn't have time to get ready for them, because that just helps the defensive side out realistically. So like the whole point of free kicks is to be an advantage for the side that has the free kick, not the side that doesn't have the free kick. So when Dunk asks, "Can I take this quickly?" and the ref goes, "Yes," scores, and the ref's like, "Actually, nah, you did it way too early." It's stupid. It's just annoying. It's just annoying.
This seems to be the thing. Like it seems, especially now VAR's a thing. It seems to be a lot on what the referee thinks, like their interpretation of the rules. And some referees, I'll take as many quick free kicks as you want. Others, no, you'll play to my whistle. But there needs to be a black and white rule. Am I playing to the whistle, or can I put the ball down and kick it?
Exactly. And like, it's just a mess. And like that wouldn't. And this is going to sound like biased, but like this never would have happened to like a United or a City or a Liverpool or an Arsenal or Chelsea.
Of course it would.
Because let's be honest, some referees are scared of the big six. They're like, no, we can't do it.
Well, look what happened with Man United. They didn't get that penalty decision, and then they were out like in like a lynch mob for the referee.
Yeah. And like another example, for our game against them when full-time whistle happened, and I was like, oh my god, we've scraped a deserved, well, not even a deserved draw, we should have won that game, but like we've scraped a draw, thank God for that. Next thing I know, the VAR screen pops up. I'm like, hold on, what is this about? And it's just from a corner where Maguire heads it and it accidentally bumps into Mopé's hand. And to be fair, his hand was in an unnatural position, but the referee blew the full-time whistle. So, like, that's the game done and dusted with. None of this, now, by the way, guys, let's go back to the game. Because if that's the case, well, let's disallow Maradona's Hand of God goal. That's after full-time whistle. Let's scrap that. Let's give Germany... Let's disallow one of Germany... No, let's give England our goal back, the Frank Lampard goal, because it's after full-time. We'll shove that our goal again. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It infuriates me sometimes. Mini rant over.
So, Jacob, do you like VAR?
No. No, to be honest, if it's done properly and the consistency is there, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Because I think you need to get some players on that panel, because the thing is that the problem is that the referees on the pitch are making the mistakes, and then the referees that are making the mistakes are in the VAR room going
for their mates, aren't they? They don't want to see their mates getting in any trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Dave, if you do something wrong and like the police will, I'm not going to go, yeah, Dave's guilty, mate. Put him away.
No, but
actually, I would, because I'm a good law-abiding citizen.
Obviously, we haven't had like the fans in the stadium out this season. But
it would have been horrific this season.
But I think there would have been riots. I think there would have been stormed grounds and stuff like that. Especially against the United game after full time. I think I would have gone on the pitch. But like, what I was saying is, if you're at the stadium, they don't tell you what's happening. They just go, VAR just pops up, what's happening? And like, what I'd love them to do is in rugby, you can hear what the referee's saying. Yeah. So it would be nice to hear that in football, like knowing what the discussion is going on about.
It annoys me because the commentators, and I've known that McManaman said it on BT, the commentators have it in their earpiece. They can hear what the VAR is saying. So why can't we? Why can Steve McManaman and Michael Owen listen, but Jim from Northampton can't?
Yeah, because they exactly, like they did a trial in Australia for one of their refs, and he had a full-on mic, and you could hear everything he says and why he booked that player, why he did that kind of thing. So it'd be nice to have it in the Premier League, one of the most watched leagues in the world, and then it'd probably give a bit of rest to the audience and stuff, and like the fans being like, okay, there's a reason why he did that, and stuff like that. None of this. Why has he done this? Why is he given a foul for that? Why is he being red carded for that kind of thing?
Because what the referees are saying is, if you give that goal, Brighton will get out of the relegation scrap. We want to keep the games entertaining. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, disallow the goal. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
VAR disallowed.
Yeah. Like it's like All right, Brighton have scored a perfectly good goal against West Brom, but it would mean they're out of the relegation scrap. So, you know what? Disallow it, and then it'd be a bit more important. All right, got you, mate. All right, disallowed. It's just stupid. It's just it irritates me. Can we go back to no VAR, please? Where you can score a miles offside goal.
At least you can forgive human error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But what annoys me the most sometimes when they go up to the monitor and they spend minutes looking at an obvious foul or an obvious not foul, and it's just like, it's obvious, mate. Just you don't need to look at the replay 5,000 times.
It was that Souček one. That Souček one was the worst one this season. I mean,
stupid.
Okay, I'm just going to put this on record. What happened to Mike Dean, what people were sending to him, completely out of order, completely wrong. Yeah. Never happened. Never do that. People, low lives. But the way he was analysing it, and everyone was literally looking, going, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
Well, that's the worst. I think that for me is the worst VAR decision in the whole of its history.
I don't know. The worst one for me was that I know that they were down and out anyway, but that Southampton goal against Man United that was chalked off, and like they kept moving it inch back and forwards to try and make him look offside. And I was like, give them a chance. They're going to lose 9-1 or 9-0 anyway.
Yeah. Also, it's the one it's the Liverpool-Everton game where Henderson scored the winner. And Mane is like the tiniest little bit offside, but they're moving the lines inches, even less than inches, and they got disallowed. But yeah, I think there just needs to be some written rules about VAR that everyone can understand.
It should be like you should be able to just like look on the you got the Premier League app on your phone or whatever. Yeah. And the referees, Jim from Northampton, us, everyone, the commentators should be able to just look. Oh look, handball. There's the handball rule. They're going to imply it, and if they don't, then they're in the wrong. They could be in the wrong, or they might be right. They are in the wrong, or they're right. There's no question about it.
I thought you were going to say, Ollie, it's going to go to a public vote.
Oh my god!
All right, guys, vote on Twitter. Is it a foul or not a foul?
Use hashtag VAR.
Can you imagine if they did that? You have like 10 seconds to vote. It's like the other celebrity app.
Yeah, we've got Anthony Taylor. He's not sure. He's going to the TV. He's asking the audience. Everyone in the crowd, get your hold on a second. Out.
He's phoning a friend.
Oh, Graham Pole's on the line. Well, that's a name I haven't thought about in a long time.
Oh god.
But another bit with VAR. You know the incident with David Luiz against Wolves, the one where like I don't get how it's the magical red card somehow. Yeah. Where like I don't get it. Like, there was no like the tiniest little bit of contact, which wasn't David Luiz's fault at the end of the day, was a straight red card, which I don't get how was a straight red card. And then you have people that like wipe people 2 feet in, and it's just like, nah, it's fine, we'll leave it, kind of thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just confuses me.
Well, if it was that easy, we wouldn't be here talking about it, would we?
Yeah, true. It was never going to be easy, was it? Though it was never.
Right. As we're starting to close up now on the podcast, Jacob, I've got one really important question. I didn't ask Tom last week. I couldn't believe I didn't ask him. So I might voice note Tom and ask him and get him to send one back so I can put it in at the end of this. Who, in your opinion, are the top 3 sexiest managers in the Premier League out of all the current Premier League managers?
All right. Okay. Well, Scott Parker has got to be up there.
What? No, shut up. That's not right. No.
What do you mean?
He was voted the sexiest manager in the Premier League, and I just don't see it. I don't get it.
He's got to be. Like, he's suited and booted for the job, isn't he? Like, he's got the
Jacob's listened to every episode. He just copied the answers.
He's that guy who turns up into the pub with a full suit and looks so overdressed.
Turns up to
I can't be attracted to that.
And I'm trying to think of the other 2. I've got to think of the managers now. I'd put a shout for Pep. I'd put Pep up there.
Yeah, that seems to be the number one. I think. I think he is the undisputed people's sexiest manager.
Yeah, I think Pep's got a 3rd one. That's a hard one. 3rd one. I'm trying to go for.
I'm assuming it's not going to be Roy.
Oh, what do you mean? He's a sexy beast. He's off the charts. He doesn't even make the. He's off the charts. He's got his own crown.
Do you know, I was so annoyed that you picked Scott Parker. I even got out of my seat.
I don't know if I could pick a 3rd one. Because they're not.
Graham Potter came near the bottom, and I was surprised because he'd actually spruced up his wardrobe a bit, and I thought
He went from the
he's not top
trackies.
10. He's not top 10, but I'd say he's at top half of the bottom half.
He went from the Adidas trackies to the jeans, the nice.
The Primark window.
I can't think of a third one, to be fair. I'm really struggling.
People had been putting Jose or Jurgen.
Oh yeah, to be fair, didn't Jose Mourinho get like a few good, like when he was younger, obviously, was one of the best looking ones.
I don't think there's any mum whose child likes football who wasn't attracted to Jose Mourinho in 2005.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. He was a very cool guy.
Yeah, I think I'd say my 3
happened?
then. What happened? Stress. Going to United happened. Going to Tottenham happened. But yeah, I'd say they're my 3 actually. Mourinho, Parker, and Pep.
Wow, I can't believe you have to end the podcast on that really sad note. I'm still shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that you put Scott Parker in.
Who would you put?
Well, I mean, obviously I have that love for Deitch, but I get it. He's not everyone's cup of tea. Do you know what? I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think I actually would put Thomas Tuchel.
Oh,
he was in the top 4, and I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But now I've thought about it, and I've seen him shout at some players. I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Damn.
I've never asked you, David. What's your top 3? Well, now, Olly Jacob's ruined the trend now, putting Scott Parker in. My point, trying to not put saying Scott Parker's not the sexiest manager.
Never appear on this podcast again. This is my last and only time on this podcast.
I think this is the last ever 442 episode, to be honest.
Can you imagine? I come on, destroys the whole podcast in one question.
Actually, to be fair, we've had Sean say Firmino is one of the best strikers in the league. We had Tom say that Tottenham were going to win the Europa League. And we had Andrew say that Jordan Pickford's actually good. So actually, you're looking quite good for yourself at the moment.
I'll take that one.
It's got to be Mourinho, isn't it, surely?
Well, see, I think Pep takes it for me.
He is a good-looking guy, to be fair.
Well, this is what we're all about opinions.
I can't lie.
Even if they're wrong, Jacob.
I never thought I'd come on a football podcast and like who'd be the most attractive football manager.
Well, you heard it here first.
Exactly. Oh dear.
Well, that's all we have time for, and I'm sorry that we have to end on a sour note. But as always, like me and Dave like to give the last goodbye to our guest, and I'm not going to do this weird thing where I say goodbye and then David just mugs me off by not saying anything.
Oh, Jacob, you were brilliant, mate. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Cheers for having me.
You're the best Brighton fan we've ever had on this podcast.
Big up, Brighton.
You go.